All right, welcome to the New Equity Network show. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. I'm also in studio with my trusty sidekick and co-host, Ed Baxter. Ed, welcome to the show.
Morning, Michael.
All right, today our first guest is Mark McGuire, CEO, Merchant Banking Resources. We're going to talk about the types of deals that he's processed, the types of funding that he does for companies looking to get to the next step, getting over that little hurdle to get them into a further successful position. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, our pleasure. All right, Mark, you have a hallmark with you in your sector. You're able to sift through the companies that come to you, find the successful ventures that you help them get the money they need to get over the hurdles and then move on to the next level. You've got a tremendous track record of success, repeat business, very low, almost crazy low default rates because of your ability to pick through and find successful businesses that can do business with you. Tell us if you want to give us, because you're on the show again, give us a little background of what your company, Merchant Banking Resources, does, and then let's talk about the companies you've recently encountered, okay?
What we do specifically, Michael and Ed, is we look at businesses that are going to the next step. They've been successful, their business for 6 months, a year, sometimes 35 years. We look at their past historical revenues. We look at their cash flow generation. We look at their business model. We determine that we are able to provide them the capital needed for an actual solution. Getting a loan and putting money in the bank is not a solution. Getting a loan or getting a capital infusion to purchase inventory or to install a software that's going to upgrade your systems of operations, or getting a capital infusion to open a second location, or there's an opportunity for you to buy a competitor, a smaller competitor, or an opportunity for you to buy a huge amount of inventory at a tremendous discount. That's what we do specifically. We're able to look at that solution, make sure it's the highest and best use of the funds, and then obviously engage in the conversations, and then certainly fund the money. We can fund the monies in as little as 3 to 5 business days.
Now, that's fast. That's lightning fast for this industry. What kind of companies have you been encountering lately?
The last handful of companies we funded, frankly, just yesterday and Friday, we had a very large HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning contractor that does only commercial applications, office buildings, hospitals, multi-office facilities. They needed $1.25 million to complete a job that they had. It was for a very large office complex up in the Northwest, and they sent us their contracts they have in place. They sent us their last 12 months of their cash flow. We looked into the history of the company. They have an absolute stellar reputation. They just could not get the $1.25 million fast enough from their local bank. We looked at their cash flow, historical cash flow, at their current positioning in the marketplace. We looked at their opportunity they have, and we've actually funded them $1,250,000 just this past Friday.
All right. How long did the whole process take?
It was a bit longer because it was a larger dollar amount. It was $1.25 million. It took 8 business days, so it took a week and a half.
Wow.
So, Mark, you bring up an interesting question when you talk about both timing and the speed in which you can execute. And the bigger issue here is the banking system in general, as far as the United States is concerned. Would you argue right now that banks aren't in the business of loaning to businesses for the purpose of growth?
The local banks, large regional banks, and of course the large national banks, specifically, they have money to lend, but the processes that you must go through, sometimes, I can just go back to the one thing that I speak about almost every 15 minutes. I say this statement to our prospects and our clients: the time value of money. I'll say, Ed, would you like to have $1 million this time next week? Or would you like to have $1 million 6.5, 7 months from now? But the rate 6.5 months from now will be, super, super low. And the answer is always, I cannot wait 6 months. I need to get this project, this inventory purchase. I need to hire these people. I need to complete this job under contract immediately. And that's the solution we provide. The banks aren't that providing money, but they're doing it through a process that is upwards of 6 months long, Ed.
So you think your biggest competitive advantage would be the lack of bureaucracy associated with the decision making in the loan process?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, dealing with us, I mean, we have underwriting in-house. We are able to look specifically at, a handful of things that we can make a decision, quite quickly. Our underwriting staff, my processing staff, and myself, we meet every single day at 9 a.m. And it's a 15-minute meeting just to review what's currently in underwriting, what's currently we're working on. And we almost say this at the close of that meeting, is that we are in the business of business. We understand enough about chiropractors. We understand enough about manufacturing. We understand enough about restaurants that we understand what they're going to use the funds for, the highest and best use of the funds.
Right. What other businesses have you been funding lately? Let's get a variety here, because I know that you deal with all kinds of them.
Yeah, just Friday and yesterday, Monday, as I mentioned, initially we funded that very large heating, ventilation, air conditioning company, $1.25 million to complete the job under contract. We have a manufacturing concern. They manufacture just a handful of products. Their end buyer is one of the largest home supply warehouses in the country. They need $1.5 million in order to seek an opportunity or actually take advantage of an opportunity to buy a large, they called it a large lot of product that was at a tremendous discount. I'm telling you, it was like 80% discount. So we gave them $1,500,000, and they purchased, in essence, $3.5 million worth of their product inventory. And they're going to turn that right around and make an 80% profit. That's our kind of a specialty. We need people to use our funds to obviously create more funds and more opportunity. We also did a vending company, an actual company that's been in business for about 36 years. They have something like 150 locations and 1,250 machines. We're talking about coffee machines, soda machines, sandwich machines, which I was unaware that even still existed, the pre-made sandwiches. Then, of course, the candy machines. They got $250,000 for exactly the same reason. They had an opportunity to buy $600,000 worth of product, whatever you think it is, sodas and sandwiches and candy and snacks for a tremendous discount. We let them focus on that opportunity. And then, of course, the doctors. We did funding for a dentist last week, opening a second location, and we did funding for a chiropractor who is starting a very aggressive marketing campaign and hiring additional staff. They're opening their office now 7 days a week, and he purchased 3 more of those adjustment tables, I should say.
Mark, one thing that stands out in what we've seen from you so far and speaking with you is you take an almost evangelical approach to ensuring that you do the right thing to help these businesses grow. Can you kind of give us a feel for what drives you to make you want to be such an impactful lender in this marketplace today?
Well, thank you for that compliment. I have to tell you, there is no better feeling in the world than getting a phone call the day of or the day after we fund an existing business, what they're looking for. If it's $3,000 or $3.3 million, they have an opportunity to take those funds. And as I said, highest and best use is what we're going to use these funds for, and do whatever they're going to do. Like I said before, hire additional people, additional product, complete a job that's in contract. So we get paid well and often. That's what I tell all my sales staff. You get paid well and often to assist businesses in getting paid well and often. They hire additional people, creating jobs that supports families. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling that we're able to be, capitalistic, but of course making that an advantage to the marketplace.
Mark, let's take a short break right now before we start diving into the particulars of the manufacturing company, the vending, the dentist, and the chiropractor, and give these people a better insight into the process, time frame, dollar amount. Okay?
Got it. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with Mark McGuire, CEO, Merchant Banking Resources, web address merchantbankingresources.com. And if you really need to reach out to Mark for his help, 888-875 7916. Ed Baxter, Michael Yorba, New Equity Network Show. We'll be right back.